was March or April of 2014. Defender started in 2014 with 4 technicians, and Debbie, our CSR, who's still here and is the heart of the company. We've now grown to 12 technicians servicing our 3 locations out of Elyria, out of Mentor, and out of Akron. The growth has been crazy. Fuel costs are definitely a concern because of the rising costs there. And you can't plan for that, so it kind of just you roll the dice on that one. So being able to mobile as often as we can, and Rich does a fantastic job on routing. I mean, and that takes years of experience, which is what he has. I know he's been in the business for 35. I'm probably dating him. He might get upset about that, but let's say 30 plus years. He's a well-rounded plan on how to route the schedules to be able. And then the other thing too is to service the customers. Whether if maybe a customer they live in an apartment building, they don't have a garage. Then we have to have them come in. That also changed too with the way the vehicles are manufactured now. Is we have to do recalibrations for safety features. That is a must, and a true understanding from the customer perspective that there's a serious liability there if they don't have that done, and they need to. It's a required procedure that we need to push and educate the consumer or the customer or the client on why they need to have that done. I try to stay up on current trends and industry knowledge and stuff to have an idea of what might be coming down the pipe for a change in the industry. And we see a lot on the collision side with DNS, our sister company, knowing what might be the next challenge. And this recalibration stuff is interesting. Now you have LiDAR sensors in there for self-driving, where you have ADAS systems, which keeps the vehicle in its lane, and I even notice it more so than ever too with the advanced braking systems. Your cruise control adaptive sensors. All of that integration in the vehicle is making it so much more complex and complicated, and the technology is ever changing so dramatically. And trying to keep up on that knowledge is, I try to keep an ear to the ground, and I have a handful of consultants I talk to on if it's not weekly, monthly basis, they're going through the same trials and tribulations that we go through on a daily basis, trying to understand what the next move is going to be from the next manufacturer. And then the manufacturers, there's so many out there anymore, and they all have their own technologies that we have to adapt to. So I'm never afraid of investing in technology. I'm never afraid of investing in education. I want my techs to have the most knowledge, to be the most experienced, to provide the great customer service that we pride ourselves on. Our customer base is about an 8 to 10 mile radius. Defender, it's 100 plus. So your customer reach is so much further. Your opportunity is so much greater. And historically, it's been interesting to try to adapt to that because of, being in the collision industry for so many years, just knowing what your customer base is from that standpoint, to then having to understand that you are going to have to adapt to a customer reach that's 10 times. It's been a challenge, but again, if we stand behind our principles and our focus on our core values, I think that's going to be another reason why we're going to be here for another 10, 20, 30 years. I don't think there's any limit to what we can do as far as servicing our customers, and then looking at different markets too to see what kind of a opportunity might be too. If we're pulling out of southern Akron, maybe that might be the next location we go to, because we're already between Canton and Akron, or Akron and Canton, as you would say. Maybe Mansfield might be the next opportunity. Maybe Canal Fulton. Maybe we go further west and we end up in Vermilion. Maybe Sandusky. Can't really go too far east because we're only about 50 miles to the Erie border, and laws change and regs change on what you can do as far as doing business in Pennsylvania specific. We'll see what the opportunity holds and kind of see, what the future looks like. Listen, I'm still young. I turned 40 this year, and I'm not perfect, and I know that. But I believe that leadership it obviously starts from the top down, and how I carry myself and how I treat my employees. I think I can hold a higher expectation because I treat others like I would want to be treated, right? And that's a principle. I have adapted this. Well, first, let me tell you, I'll be the first one to also invest in myself. So I've had plenty of consultants handful of business coaches that have helped me work through some of the stressful points. When I leave the office doesn't mean that I'm leaving, my job or leaving the business for the day. I can be up at 1 o'clock in the morning rifling off emails because my mind is going nuts, and I just need to get it off my mind, and then maybe go back to sleep. We deal with cars, right? And they're manufactured by humans and robots. So we can say that cars are as perfect as they can be, but at the end of the day, we still have recalls. They're still manufactured, there's still flaws, there's still QI fails. At the end of the day, we're humans trying to replicate something a robot probably, I would say, guarantee you, put a windshield in. And again, like I said, we're humans. We're gonna make mistakes, and we own it, and we stand behind it. I have nothing to hide, and we will learn from it at the end of the day. I truly believe that when you decide to not be a student of any institution, whether it's just life in general, I think that your ego will get the best of you, and to remain humble and remain grounded is why we are philanthropic too. And we do a lot of philanthropic things because it brings you back to earth, it grounds you. And then I also have this other rule, which is the 24-hour rule. So something could happen. Yeah, you want to react to it and you want to just get it off the plate and you just want to be done with it. But sometimes it's better to just wait 24 hours, become calm and collective again, and then maybe respond, or definitely respond. But at least at that point, the emotions don't get the best of you, because at the end of the day, like I said, we're all human, and our emotions get the best of us. I love this place. I love everybody that works for me. I've loved what it's turned into, and the only way I think I can make it a better company is by better leadership and being a sponge and being a student of the institution of life, if that's what you want to call it, is what it's going to take to make it a better place.